Today on DNVR Buffs Live, Travis Hunter is okay, and therefore I am okay, you are okay,
Yes.
we are okay. Let's talk about it. Let's go.
Welcome into the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. It's DNVR Buffs Prime Time. I'm hearing we're all okay.
We're all okay. Everything seems to be all right. I didn't know
Excellent.
for a minute there. I didn't know. Forgot what it felt like to breathe.
Yeah, you were rough for a while.
Yeah, bro. We couldn't get an update.
Well, we got one.
I know. Silence is scary, but we got one today.
We did get an update today. Coach Prime just straight up opens the press conference. Doesn't even wait for a question
Thank you.
from anyone. He just straight up goes into it. Travis should play for certain. Jimmy as well. Timmons and Omarion, those guys are probably out. And Will Shepard should probably play as well.
Yeah, and the Will thing kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Sounds like he got a little banged up on the last play of the game. Obviously, we're thinking of Omarion. Just such a shame that happened to him while he was having that game. Terrell Timmons as well came in, made a big catch, got hurt. I mean, what the heck was in the air on Saturday night?
When it rains, it pours sometimes.
Absolutely, which would make more sense for the Baylor game. But Travis obviously is otherworldly important to this team. No one else can relate to the fact that when a player goes down, they're losing their two best players.
Yeah.
And so when he goes out, it absolutely changes the way that you can approach anything on either side of the ball, and also the way that your opponent approaches you.
Yes.
On either side of the ball. So when we talk a lot about how when Shilo Sanders is your quarterback, you're going to have a chance.
Yep.
When Travis Hunter is on your team, you're also going to have a chance. You combine those two together, you're going to win a lot of football games, and that's what I think. They would have continued that on Saturday night if Travis stays healthy. But
Of course.
we're past that. We're moving past that. You're going to have him now in what is the single most important game to have Travis Hunter in the entire season, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can look at this just from the Teteroa McMillan standpoint, and also going, someone's going to have to go up against Cario Davis on the defensive side of the ball for Arizona as well. But in terms of, I think what you're getting at is momentum for the season.
Well, momentum for the season, but more importantly, Teteroa McMillan.
Yeah. I mean, he's crazy.
I said this last week. Arizona is the two-man show that everyone thought Colorado was.
Yeah.
And Colorado has done a great job of putting talent around those guys to where, you saw it. Saturday night's a perfect example. Shador almost goes for 400 yards without Travis or Jimmy.
Yep.
I think Travis had like 36 yards before he went out. So if you can take away Teteroa McMillan, or at least contain him, I think it's really hard to take him away. But if you can contain Teteroa McMillan, it's going to make Arizona's life really hard. You go back and watch the games that they've won versus the games that they've lost, and I've watched a lot of them live. I'll watch more before we kind of dive into them more deeply on Wednesday and Thursday. But the games that they win, Teteroa McMillan eats. The games that they lose, he doesn't.
Yep.
It's that simple, and you need Travis Hunter out there to guard him.
You do. I mean, they almost won this game last year. Let's not forget that. It came down to a last-second field goal from Arizona. Travis was, at this time, fully back from his lacerated, was it kidney or liver? I can't even remember at this point. But Shedeur I think he had a good game. I mean,
Yeah.
anytime he's in black and gold, he really has a good game. But this year, Teterow McMillan has 742 receiving yards on 42 catches, 4 touchdowns. He's really what makes it go for this team because Noah Fafita, while he had a great year last year, he's now thrown more interceptions than touchdowns.
Yikes.
He's only thrown 1,636 yards. So damn near half of his receiving yards or his passing yards are to Teterow McMillan.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of said it. People wanted to call Colorado a two-man show coming into this year. I think it's pretty clear, though. If you can limit and, kind of just put a cap on what Teterow McMillan does on Saturday, you're going to have a very, very good chance at winning this football game.
Yeah. Also, I take back what I said. Even when they lose, he eats.
Yeah.
But the games that they've won, especially the games that they won handily, he goes absolutely insane. I mean, week 1, they put up 61 points. That's when it kind of looked like Arizona was going to be a big problem.
Yeah, he set like a school record at least.
Bro, 10 catches for 304 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. He went crazy.
He went crazy in that one. And then the next week, they won, but their offense did not look good. And in that game, he had 2 catches for 11 yards against Northern Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember kind of there was panic coming out of Arizona for that one. Ever since then, he's had quite a few good games, but even last week, just the second time I believe on the season that he was held under 100 yards receiving, they get blown out by BYU.
Yep.
So it's very clear like what you got to do with this team. I actually still believe it starts with stopping the run.
Mm-hmm.
Make them become one-dimensional. And I think this is probably what a team would say if they're coming in to play against Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Don't give them the luxury of saying, oh, we don't want to run, but we can.
Mm-hmm.
Make them know that if they run the ball, it's going to be a problem for them. They're going to be in 2nd and 10. And if you can do that, then they become not only one-dimensional, but predictable in that one dimension. It's going to be, Fafita throwing to McMillan.
Yep, definitely. And Jimmy's back, it sounds like, as well. Coach Prime mentioned that off the top in his press conference, and he hasn't really had a big game, I think, after North Dakota State. But as we know, Jimmy just needs one catch, and it could be a 70-yard touchdown, and it could flip the entire game at that point.
Yeah, and I kind of felt like this last week was set up for him to be one of those games.
Yeah.
Made a great catch on the play that I think he got hurt on. But you're right. Like, he's such a dynamic playmaker. And, some of that stuff that I talked about yesterday in terms of just getting easy yards, there's a lot of stuff you can do with Jimmy to try and unlock that. Like I mentioned running that, that drag screen that they love to run in air raid systems.
Yeah.
Imagine that with Jimmy.
I know.
Get him with a head of steam going across the field with blockers in front of him. So, good to hear that he should be okay. Absolutely paramount to not just this game, but the rest of the season to have Travis Hunter okay.
Of course. Will Shepard should play. We'll get to Omarion Miller in a bit too. But Shilo Sanders faces the music today in the press conference. I mean, I don't know how you can do anything else but commend him for doing that today.
Absolutely. You got to salute him. It was a big-time move, a pro move, if I do say so myself. In my years covering the Broncos, usually the PR staff is who kind of tells the players, hey, you need to talk after the game or whatever. And tell you, usually if there's a bad game, whether it was a kicker missed a game-winning field goal or a player had a fumble or whatever it may be, they always spoke after the game. And so I thought it was very commendable by Shilo to go up there today and just be honest. And you got to appreciate that about him. Said it yesterday, said it before. What was put on tape on Saturday was not Shilo Sanders. A lot of people are trying to paint a narrative that that's who he's always been, and I couldn't disagree with something more.
No.
It was the opposite of what he's always been in my eyes, and so everyone should be pulling for him.
Of course. Let's play the clip from Shilo really facing the music in today's press conference, and then I'll kind of give my 2 cents after.
Work to get back, then you get back, you have the worst game of your life. It's really disappointing for me, and especially the fans, So And I've been seeing everybody turn on me and stuff like that, but I'm not worried about none of that because as soon as you do good, they're going to be right back on your side. Just how they was when they won the UCF game out there in Florida. So I'm not really worried about none of that. I'm worried about me getting better, worried about contributing to the team and helping us win. And, my role, I can't be going out there not on my game. I'm the free safety. If I mess up, everybody going to see it. So I gotta pay attention to detail and be on my game at all times.
Look, first game back, we know he's been injured, but we saw this from Travis Hunter last year when he came back from his injury.
Yep.
First game back, it was not – they just weren't themselves. They were kind of still figuring out, the game speed, getting back into game shape, those type of things in your first game. And I'm with you. I mean, Shilo has put out, on tape that he can play. He can tackle. So let's show a little grace and patience with him.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And again, I'll say this one more time. What he put out there on Saturday was not who he is. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to seeing him get back to who he is.
Definitely. He also said he just needs to pay more attention to detail and technique coming downhill. I also like this from him. He said, I know I'm good at football. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been making tackles for a long time. I've done it. I know what I'm capable of. And that's one thing you got to credit Shilo on, too. He's never going to lose that confidence that he just was born with.
Well, and you got to be confident in who you are as a person and as a player to go up there and face the music. Mm-hmm. If you internally feel like a fraud, you run from it.
Yeah.
If you internally feel like that wasn't me, I'm going to do better, you face it.
It's exactly what he did today.
Yep.
We can talk about Omarion right now. I mean, obviously a tough one. Coach revealed that he had surgery yesterday, and it unfortunately doesn't sound like he's going to be back this year.
Yeah, very, very, very unfortunate. It's just probably the most brutal part of this game is injury can strike anywhere.
Yep.
And Omarion, I feel like, was just about ready to just blow up. And obviously in that game he was already doing it. I mean, he could have ended it with 200 yards in that game.
They needed him late.
Yes, they really needed him late.
Yeah.
So looking forward to him getting back, and I hope he has a great career in black and gold.
Agreed. Here's LaJohntay Wester talking about losing O and the impact and how much that hurt.
Just be there for them. That's pretty much all you can do. And it hurt more because before the game he was feeling it. Like he told me like this gonna be one of them games where he feel like he gonna be able to get off. So I mean, it kind of hurt. It definitely hurt seeing him go down. Especially go down in that type of way where he can't shake back quick from it. So I mean, the most important thing for me to do is just be there for him, because it's bigger than the game, man. You get players have injuries like that, and they mental start having being depressed and being mental health stuff like that. So my main thing is just being there for him. If you need anything, just go see him. So that's all I can do right now.
I know this is about Omarion right now, but it's really cool to see LaJohntay step up as a leader of that wide receiving core.
Absolutely, man, and really important message from him there, just about making sure you take care of your teammates when they go down. These guys put so much time and so much work into performing on Saturdays, and everyone responds differently when it's taken away from them, and especially guys that haven't necessarily had to do it before. And I'm not exactly sure what Omarion's injury history is going back to high school, but if you are used to playing every single week and that's something you can kind of look forward to, and all of a sudden it's taken from you, you just never know how guys are going to respond. So a really important message from LaJohntay of just for him and his teammates to make sure that they're there for it sucks. It sucks rehabbing from injury, and it's not just football players, it's anyone. if you get taken away from what you love, whether that's like skiing or golf or whatever, it can mess with your mental. So another reason why I asked Coach Prime about that today, not to jump too far ahead, but I don't think we have that clip. So I just asked Coach Prime because I saw the clip. I don't know. He said it was from last year. I don't know how I just saw it recently for the first time. But him talking about when he was struggling with his own mental health and considered taking his own life. And I think I'm going on a tangent here, but I think it's really important for someone like Coach Prime to talk about that.
Yes, of course.
Because you see, and we all see this incredibly confident, strong man who is kind of like a pillar of what it seems like to be mentally strong.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hear that even he's been through it and he's been down in the depths and he's had to pull himself out of it via, for him, it was finding God, but for anyone, it could be any other way. Like, it makes it realize that it's okay to talk about it. It's okay. It's normal to go through stuff like that. So that's why I asked him about it, because I think that a lot of people, without knowing that story, would think, oh, there's no way Deion Sanders has ever struggled.
Right.
And when you hear that he has, it makes you realize that it could happen to anyone, and it's okay to talk about it.
He's human just like the rest of us, man.
Amen.
All right, let's take our first break, and then we'll get back to pressers from today. In 1 second. There we go. Shout out to our friends at UC Health with Coach Prime as the Chief Motivation Officer of the Ready, Set, Code Challenge. Big emphasis on sleep. We had a late game Saturday. You guys gave me some nonsense for that. I will say, though, I did not sleep on sleep after that night.
Really?
I feel incredible, yes.
I guess I believe you.
Have you been sleeping on sleep?
No, actually. I got a full 8 hours last night, which is very rare for me.
Congrats.
You know what made me go to bed?
Waiting to wake up so you could hear Travis on her news.
No, boredom. I was just bored. I was like, I guess I'll just go to sleep. I got nothing better to do.
You really are getting old.
I was like scrolling. There's nothing interesting. It's not, all the games were off TV. I didn't feel like playing CFB 25. I was just like, well, guess I'll just go to bed.
Well, whether it's boredom or putting your phone down or setting a bedtime, don't sleep on sleep. And if you want to join UC Health's Ready, Set, Code Challenge, click the link in show notes or go to www.uchealth.org/readysetco.
Also, shout out Empire today. The best in the business when it comes to flooring. They've even got this lovely hardwood floor right underneath our feet here in the DNVR studio. They supplied us with that, and they can get you set up with a beautiful new floor for a $350 off discount when you use the code DNVR at empiretoday.com/DNVR. They'll also come in and check out your home, map it out, give you a free estimate so you know exactly what you're going to spend, and then take $350 off that when you go to empiretoday.com/DNVR and use the promo code DNVR.
All right, let's get back to today's pressers. Coach Prime, last question of the presser was asked about Micah Welch and the running backs. And he kind of revealed we may be getting a new starting running back this weekend, too.
I was 1 week early, I guess, on my Isaiah Augusta prediction of the breakout game for him. I don't know how it happened, but they just forgot to run the ball last week. This week, I would almost guarantee they do not. It kind of reminds me of going back to the Nebraska game. They forgot to run the ball, and then it became a huge conversation all week against Colorado State. They run the ball well.
That's true.
I think that'll happen this week for Colorado against Arizona. You can run the ball on Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
They do have some big boys in the middle.
Yep.
But they have given up some chunks. So I'm excited for 2-3, as Coach called him. Dude can play, and I think that my old slot machine theory. You pull the handle enough times, you're going to hit a jackpot. I think he's due for a big, big run.
Yes, he is. So here's Coach Prime giving you an update on Micah Welch and talking about Isaiah Augusta.
I think he played. You got to understand he had a hamstring injury now that he was nursing, that he was trying to come back on. He didn't practice every day last week. So you kind of bring him back slowly. 2-3 may get the nod this week. Everyone else has started. but him. So he may be that back this week that gets the opportunity to do his thing. So we kind of, it's not nothing that they didn't do well. It's just rotation, seeing who clicked with what. And the kid can play ball. All our backs are good, man. Charlie's good. Charlie ain't done nothing wrong. We just trying new things to see what fit. But the thing about it, we gotta create holes so they can hit. We got to do that. And I'm pretty sure our linemen is going to take on that challenge tremendously. They had a great practice today, and I expected them to reap the benefits of those practices and with consistency.
You spoke about it, but there's a big emphasis on running the ball again already this week.
Yep. As
So,
there should be.
Of course. They need it.
Yes.
We needed it last week.
100%.
You're going to need it every week.
Last 2 weeks for Arizona, they went up against Texas Tech and Taj Brooks. Taj Brooks went 21 carries, 128 yards, and 3 touchdowns on them. So there you go. He averaged 6.1 yards per carry. And then this last week against BYU, they kind of had a more balanced attack. But their top running back, Hinkley Ropati, went 9 carries, 65 yards. That's 7.2 yards per carry. LJ Martin goes 11 carries, 49 yards. That's 4.5 yards per carry. Their quarterback was for 4.7 yards per carry. As a team, 27 carries, 147 yards, 5 yards per carry. So, again, you got to run the rock against this team, and it feels like they're once again ready to do so.
I hope so. It sounds like Micah's more ready than he was this time last week as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He got out there, but then he didn't get the ball. It was odd.
I mean, I get it, though. Like, I was wondering if that hamstring pull he had against UCF would kind of linger and stuff. We didn't hear too much about it, but
Yeah,
he would have got more carries, obviously, if he was healthy. So
definitely.
Coach Prime also spoke about Arizona and what he sees from them on the film.
I say this every week, but I'm not lying. It's a well-coached team. These got a great quarterback, I feel. One of the best receivers in the nation, if not the best, arguably. This kid is certainly a pro. Let's start right there. You got to deal with those two. Quarterback can make all the throws. He doesn't look to run, but he can run. But he has tremendous escapability. They got running game, and they can move the ball. They can move the ball up and down the field. Defensively, they got some big guys in the middle. They're stout versus the run somewhat. I'm not going to say they're vulnerable on the pass. Everybody seems like they're vulnerable to what we have out there at receiver. But these guys play complementary defense, and they get after it, man. They get to the ball. They're relentless. They attack the predators on the field. They get to the ball, and they make plays. So it's going to be a tremendous task.
All right, we've got a special guest in the studio right now.
Not really.
Yes, we do.
But we got our guy from Goonsville here.
Yes, sir.
I repped mine already. Total coincidence
Let's
that
go.
he came by today. You got yours.
I'll be able to rep.
Dude,
Yeah.
I just
Thanks,
love
Petro.
the
Appreciate you, brother.
embroidery on these.
Yeah, this is awesome.
That
Shout
really-
out Goonsville.
Shout out. Appreciate you, bro. I got to get one of those. Yeah, the Halloween theme goes crazy.
I love how Coach Prime talked about the game. Like in that clip, he called the Arizona guys like predators and stuff. Like his analogies for describing like the way football is played just cracked me up.
What was he saying about that?
He just said they were predators up front. They chased the ball.
Okay. I like that.
Let's get to LaJohntay then. We have the touchdowns one.
Yes.
So LaJohntay scored 7 touchdowns so far this year.
Yes, that is more receiving touchdowns than any player on the team had last year.
Yeah,
We're only halfway through the season.
crazy.
Yeah.
So here's LaJohntay talking about his hot start to the year.
I mean, coming here, I knew I wasn't going to be able to get as much touches that I got at FAU. So I know like going into every game, I got to capitalize on every touch that I get, and it just so happened every touch that I get be close to the red zone, and every time we close to the red zone, it's mandatory I put it in the box. So that's just my main goal. Just every time I touch it, try to put it in the box. So I mean, we just got to keep it rolling now, so we can start winning.
What do you think he finishes at? 14? Does he get there?
I don't know, man. I mean, well, one thing is we haven't really talked about it, but Colorado has actually been good at running the ball in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
Last few weeks, I think they've had like 5 or 6 rushing touchdowns over the last 3 weeks.
At least punching it in, yeah.
Yeah. So that makes it a little more difficult for him to keep racking these up. But it's funny because I used to talk about this with Jerry Jeudy and it never worked. But like the guys who can run routes like that are most valuable in the red zone because you have to get open quick.
Yeah.
And you have less room to do so. And LaJohntay has been great at that. And then also the touchdown that he scored, the first touchdown that he scored on Saturday was just great effort by him, but also an incredible effort by Travis Hunter.
I know, yeah. He was wide open on that play. Like, there was no one near him. So
classic throw into the blitz.
Yep, exactly. But as you said, like, he is a weapon in the red zone, man. And I don't think we expected that coming into this season. We knew what LaJohntay brought to the table in terms of his quickness and route running. But in the red zone, you're right. It is an absolute weapon. And I think that's why Shedeur looks at him all the time, because he's on these, quick, shallow breaking routes that he's just instantly open and able to, and also make moves like he did not only the first one, but the last one. To kind of catch the ball as soon as he turns around and turn upfield and get into the end zone.
It was such a great change of direction by him. And the other thing is that Shedeur really trusts him.
Yep.
So he's going to throw to him on big downs and big plays. And I mean, when I noticed that is it might have been LaJohntay's first touchdown against CSU. Oh, no. Did he score one against – I think he scored one against Nebraska. But anyways.
Yes.
Against CSU, Shedeur just ripped a slant to him in the middle of the field, and he made the play, took a big hit, held on, and he's sure-handed and runs really quick routes. That's a good recipe, especially if you're going to be a smaller weapon in the red zone.
His career high is 8 touchdowns, so he's already one away from tying his career high in a season.
Which is pretty crazy because he acknowledged it today. He knew coming here he was going to get less touches.
Yep.
And what a mature decision. But his NFL draft stock has skyrocketed. Not that he wasn't already being considered, but you come up here and do it with everyone watching, and you rack up 7 touchdowns in 6 games, and counting. He made a very smart decision, I think, coming to play with Shedeur Sanders.
And he spoke about what it's been like playing with Shedeur Sanders also in today's press conference. Here it is.
He's a pro. His IQ level is insane. His throwing ability, his ability to be able to prolong plays and extend plays and still be able to make throws down the field. So just all of that in one. He's really just the complete quarterback, the quarterback that I've been looking for pretty much all of my college career. So, I mean, I'm glad to be on his side.
He made a great decision coming here because he gets to play, like you said, with the best quarterback that he's been really looking for in his college career. And now he's on pace to shatter his career high in touchdowns, and he's got a career high right now in yards per reception.
Wow. That actually shocks me.
Yeah. He had 108 receptions last year. He's not going to get close to that.
No.
But he's been very impactful almost every time he's touched the football.
Yeah, he's a dog, man.
Yes, he is. B.J. Green also spoke on the podium. I actually asked him about Tajay McCoy, what he's seen from Tajay McCoy in the start of his young career here in Colorado and B.J.'s first half of his last year of college football.
Which one do you want, Tajay or Tajay?
He reminds me of myself my freshman year, having those third down opportunities, like seeing him flash like that gives me reminiscent of like how I got started in this Power 5 football. So seeing him do that, I can't be happier, like just being able to give him those bits and pieces so that way when I'm gone, he has those things that he can push forward and he can be that guy that steps in the shoes and people can look up to. Because at the end of the day, you want to be the person that gives them and they can pass that on.
I absolutely love that because BJ came into Arizona State with a walk-on mentality, obviously. Just straight up outworked everyone his first year. And I think you are seeing that from Tajay because all we've heard is Tajay McCoy, watch out. And now it's finally like it's coming to with these sacks. He's finally getting to the quarterback.
Absolutely. And I really, really appreciate that message from BJ because to me, like, that is legacy.
Yes.
I think the perfect one to describe it is Champ Bailey. Champ Bailey's legacy obviously he's the first ballot Hall of Famer, but one of the great things about him was his tackling. For a cornerback, he's as good of a tackler as I've ever seen.
Yep.
For years after he even retired, Broncos corners, Chris Harris Jr. being one of them, were still elite tacklers.
Yeah.
To me, that is leaving a mark. That is leaving a legacy. And so when you're one of these players who only gets to spend a short amount of time at a school, or even if you're going to spend 4 years, it's still a short amount of time on the grand scheme.
Mm-hmm.
If you're able to pass along a mentality, pass along a approach, a move, whatever it is, that then gets passed on to the next guy, and then he passes it down to the guy after him, and you're able to continue on this tradition of the older guys helping the younger guys so that when you leave, they can carry it on. That's legacy.
Perfectly said. Let's take a quick break, then we'll hit the last point from today's pressers. Shout out to our friends over at stand by. Bet365. The homies. I did really well on Bet365 this weekend.
Hell yeah.
Had some parlays hit. Got some early money line payouts, of course. Broncos did let me down, though.
That happens.
It's been happening a lot more often than usual.
Speaking of, it finally happened. I didn't bet on a Buffs game and they lost.
So are you free now?
I think I'm free.
I think you are too.
Yeah, I think we like eliminated that variable.
Yes.
It's someone else's fault.
Exactly.
It was never my fault.
Whoever it is that keeps betting on
Or whatever you're doing. Maybe you're not wearing the right shoes.
or shirt
Or shirt.
or color.
Could be anything. Someone out there is causing 2 losses. We all need to look in the mirror and find out who it was.
But you can sign up at Bet365 with the code DNVR365 for the bet and get offer. All you need to do is deposit $10, place a bet of $5 or more on anything. As soon as that bet clears, hits or misses, you'll get $200 in bonus bets deposited directly into your account. And it's $200, like legitimately. They're not giving you $8 $25 free bets. They're giving you $200 to play with on Bet365. You must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
Also, shout out to Westera Credit Union. If you like earning money by doing the things you're already doing with your checking account, visit westeracu.com/smartmoney for more details. They've got so much cool stuff going on at Westera. And like Jake always says, they will be your friend. If you need a friend, just go to Westera Credit Union.
That's the biggest takeaway.
Open up an account, and you too can have your first ever friend. And look at Jake.
I never said that.
Look at Jake, man. He's been able to find a few more after that. It's kind of like a slump buster for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Westera.
Anyways, go to westeracu.com/smartmoney to check out all of the great stuff they have going on. Membership eligibility required, insured by the NCUA. Restrictions and conditions apply.
All right. Let's wrap up press conferences. Here's B.J. Green talking about his first half of the season and how he thinks he has performed so far.
B.J. Green here. Let's start.
I'll find it. Hold on. I got you.
Real quick, speaking of variables,
Take care, brother. Yep.
Coach Prime shaving the beard.
Is that it, maybe?
Could have been. He probably had the beard for Nebraska, though.
I can't remember. The Dancy fade was here, too.
But it wasn't there. It wasn't there for Nebraska, so that's also been
that is true.
Eliminated.
So it's the Dancy fade and the Coach Prime beard together joining forces.
We need that.
That's what we need.
That's what we need.
But B.J. Green was asked about how he feels like he's played the first half of the season. Said he didn't feel like he was himself the first 5 games. The Kansas State game is the standard of what I do. He also talked, about sacks coming in bunches. He mentioned that. Was that after Nebraska, I believe he said that?
Yep.
He goes out and gets his first 2 of the season and really was an impactful player for the team on Saturday. So I think we're all hoping that this is a common trend here for him.
Absolutely. And again, as I said to him in the presser, this is your first chance to go up against a passing team.
Yep.
A true passing team.
Yep.
Which is crazy in 2024, the year of our Lord.
Especially after the schedule we played last year.
I know. I thought everyone just slung it around now.
Yep.
Now you're getting teams like running Maryland Eye out there.
Yep. And we're not done, too. I mean, Texas Tech's going to throw it around. You know, Oklahoma State, what they're going to try and do. Utah, which we're about to get to here because, well, let's just do it. Cam Rising's out for the season now. Yesterday, he was out indefinitely. Now he's out for the season. So the Buffs are going to play Isaac Wilson at quarterback here in about a month.
Yeah. Also, Cam Rising, Indeed.com. Get a job, brother.
Some other news and notes. Pro Football Focus rated Jordan Seaton as the 5th highest pass blocking grade out of all Power 4 offensive tackles in Week 7. All of them.
Wow.
Number 5. I mean, he's up there with Will Campbell, Kelvin Banks. These are two, players who are probably going to go in the first round, if not top 50 of April's draft. And Jordan's in the mix.
I mean, it's so nice to see Jordan be who we thought he was. Not to incur this man's name, but after last season when you got a highly rated 5-star player and he was not as advertised,
right?
Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Yes. I don't even need to say it. Seeing Jordan come in and be him, and by the way, that didn't just happen. That happened by getting on campus and working his ass off every single day, physically, mentally, everything, to be ready for the season. And even in week 1, he was not as good as he played this last week. So the absolute definition of putting the work in is Jordan Seaton. And, I just love that because he knew how important he was to this football team. Yep. And he approached that with such a professional attitude of, what always Coach Prime says, it ain't going to be me. That's how he's approached everything. So credit to him, man, and he just keeps going.
The reason I brought this up, though, is because recruiting. This is the biggest pitch for Colorado.
Yes.
They want you to come in, and they want you to play early, especially if you're a dog, because you have a chance to prove yourself not only as, a standout freshman, you could prove yourself as one of the best players in the country here at Colorado. So guys like Owusu Boateng and then Landon Merritt, who we're about to talk about here, and all these other guys, Julian Lewis, Keelan Russell, whoever you want to name, who's a top 200-ish recruit. This is exactly the pitch that they're trying to tell you.
Yep. And full on, opportunity for a special legacy, I truly think. If you're part of this next incoming freshman class, not that the Omarion Millers and the Draylon Millers and, Cam Michaels and won't be a big part of this story as well, but there's going to be this kind of thing of, the new guys, the next wave. And I think everyone will be kind of put together in that, especially the young players on this team. But if you're Juju Lewis or Keelan Russell, you're looking at this as this has a chance to be something special. Yeah. And we can all band together and go to Colorado and be next in terms of, college football teams arriving.
Yep. Speaking of Landon Merritt, he talked to 247 Sports about his visit. On CU's performance and the loss to Kansas State, he said it was a great, hard-fought game. The main thing I took away from the game was that nobody gave up when they were down in the fourth quarter. The team kept working hard, sticking to the plan and executing, which led to them taking the lead in the fourth quarter. And I've mentioned it, I don't know how many times since Saturday's press conference, but the fight in this team is undeniable. And this is why it's so important, because recruits see it. It goes beyond just, staying in a football game until the clock hits 000. This means more than just really the football game that was in play on Saturday.
Yep. Also, by the way, someone in the comments just said Travis gets one hit and he's sidelined, paper soldier. You're an idiot. Bro plays 130 snaps a game of football. You don't think he's taking a hit this season?
It's crazy. On the game day atmosphere, London says the atmosphere was electric. All the fans were crazy. They were yelling at us recruits and telling us to commit. This is the place for you. And things of that nature.
That's sick. Good job, guys.
I like that a lot because it let me know not only the fans pay attention to the games, but they also know that recruiting is very important for their team's success.
I love that. Good job, fans.
On his time with the coaches, said he had a lot of fun with all the coaches, bonded with everyone on staff. He was mainly with Coach Box, Coach Jordan, and Coach Dancy, who is his main recruiter and position coach. My parents and I also had a great convo with Coach Prime. We had detailed conversations about academics. and about how they are hard on the players about their schoolwork, which my mom really liked, and they're even tougher on the field. Coach Prime even took time to braid my little sister's hair, which meant a lot to me. Their main message to me was to keep working and to stay humble. If you didn't see that video, I retweeted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool stuff.
Only at Colorado.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it literally looks like Coach Prime is like talking to like some family members he hasn't seen in like a couple of years or something.
100%. And speaking of family, like go back and watch the pregame show. George Hilo nailed it.
Yep.
And like that's a guy who's been at Michigan with Harbaugh. He's been at Alabama with Saban, talking about what an amazing job Coach Prime has made this feeling like a brotherhood and a family at Colorado. And the way that he said it, that was not lip service. And it was not teed up. He offered that.
Yep. But that's just like a little glimpse. Like this stuff happens all the time on these recruiting visits.
Yeah.
It's just how this staff is, how this program is. So it's just great to see the guys who obviously are going there for the first time immediately get that, type of love and reciprocation for the attention that they're showing to the program by just showing up.
Amen.
London Merritt he's committed to Ohio State. His next visit, he's going to Ohio State when they play Michigan. Think C really gave him something to think about.
I think so too. He definitely merits attention.
He almost made it through. Almost made it through. On3 expert Chad Simmons has logged an expert prediction for Colorado to land 4-star safety Byron Baldwin.
Bang.
That is now the second one from On3's recruiting staff, including Steve Wiltfong. Baldwin decommitted from Indiana earlier in the month. I think he set a commitment date for about a month from now as well. So we got to kind of hang in there and wait still, but be patient with the recruiting right now because a lot of good stuff is in the works.
Yeah, and I can't remember who it was, but I think On3 had a segment today or yesterday talking about how Colorado coming in with late offers doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Because I think it's because of just the attention that is commanded. Like getting a Colorado offer means something now.
Yep.
And so if you get that call, you're going to pay attention. For them, they were talking about because they only want guys who are going to play right away. But regardless, I agree with that. You're going to go after some guys who are already committed or some guys who are late to commit. But as soon as they see that phone number come across their phone, their heart starts racing.
Oh, yeah. That 303.
Yep.
All right. Last thing I've got for today, ESPN's draft panel this actually might just be Jordan Reed. So this is Jordan Reed, ESPN NFL draft analyst.
He's good too, right?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
2025 NFL draft quarterback rankings. And number 1, Shilo Sanders.
Thank you.
He's been standing on it too.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan also has a quote here from an assistant GM from an NFC team. On Shador, he says, he's been the best of the bunch to me, and I've been impressed by his growth this year. The on-field demeanor has been contagious so far, and the results have shown on that team this year. So for all the people on Twitter or anywhere else who like to say, oh, the NFL's they're gonna hate this, they're not gonna like this, you have no idea what you're talking about.
That much has always been clear. But since we were the first ones, or amongst the first ones to say that Shador is going to ball at Power 5 level, we were amongst the first ones to say he's going to be a future first-round, top 10, top 5 pick. I'll be on the front lines of this. I think Shador Sanders is legitimately one of the best quarterback prospects we have seen in a long time.
I'm there with you. I mean, look, C.J. Stroud has done a lot.
Yep.
And even he had a lot.
But even he as a prospect wasn't being viewed.
He didn't have. He had way more questions than Shador does right now.
Yep. The way that he anticipates throws, the way that he has pinpoint accuracy, the way that he can complete 16 passes in a row in the middle of the game and no one even noticed that it was happening.
Yeah, I know.
Shows you how special it was. Coach Prime didn't know until today.
Yeah.
He is,
and it came on a drop. The
yes.
streak ended on a drop.
He understands defenses at an incredibly high level. His arm is special. His accuracy is out of this world. He has everything that you're looking for when you're scouting an NFL quarterback. I think he's going to be an instant star in the league.
I think so as well. All right, let's take our final break and get to the Toyota chat. We are shouting out Mint Mobile, the homies. Finding a wireless plan can be an absolute pain. You know, a bunch of hidden fees. You got to buy a phone, all this stuff. And then you learn that your service just doesn't work in this area or this area. It's a pain. But if you go to Mint Mobile and you're a new customer, you can get a new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month. Just go to mintmobile.com/buffs. That's mintmobile.com/buffs to cut your wireless bill to $15 a month over at Mint Mobile. It's a $45 upfront payment required. It's equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for details.
Also, shout out to Z-Biotics. We'll be on the bus this week.
We need it.
Which means we're going to be having some fun in multiple states. But we'll be bringing our Z-Biotics with us. Vacations, weddings, birthdays, reunions. There's so much going on. Get the most out of your summer plans and your fall plans and your winter plans by stocking up on pre-alcohol. Go to zbiotics.com/DNVR Buffs to get 15% off your first order when you use DNVR Buffs at checkout. It's backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied with any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked. That's how you know they believe in the product. Remember, head to zbiotics.com/DNVR Buffs. Get your pre-alcohol. And don't give up tonight.
Wow. Look at this guy. I saw people in the chat earlier talking about the weather this weekend. The high in Tucson on Saturday is 73 degrees.
That's shocking to me. It sounds like there's a cold front going across the whole country.
Yep.
We might have picked the best place to be, where it's normally 100, but we're getting a 30-degree cold front, and we're still going to get nice weather.
It'll be a high of 66 in Albuquerque, but windy. I hope you guys get to experience this Albuquerque wind.
By the way,
that is just brutal.
I heard the numbers today on how many people already have committed to come to our tailgate.
Yes.
Whew, we are going to have a party in Arizona.
Go to thednvr.com/events.
Yeah, we would love to see you guys. If you're going to the game, there's absolutely no reason why you wouldn't come hang out with us before, because it's free.
Yep, completely free.
Free tailgate. Cannot wait to see Buff Nation there. Already going to be a ton of you there. Let's party.
And then a bunch of cool stuff for Cincinnati in 2 weeks too. We got game tickets, tailgate parking.
If anyone knows, if anyone knows what section the Arizona band sits in, I haven't got my ticket to the game yet, and it's only tradition for me to go. Do a little conducting in the state of Arizona.
Can't wait. All right, Cam starting us off. Should Omarion medically redshirt or can he? He's already played more than 4 games, so I don't know how exactly that works. I think he might have to get a waiver, if anything, but I think he's done.
Yeah, I think once you've played 4 games,
done, but
that counts.
Yeah, this counts as a year for him.
For example, Cam Rising did not. He got hurt in game 3, I think, it would have been probably game 3 for them.
I think it was the 3rd one, yeah.
Yep. It was game 2 because it was the Nebraska game.
Oh, right.
Us.
Yeah, that's true.
So he didn't even come close to playing 4 games. Or I guess he did play 3. But so he is eligible. But Omarion now, that would have been his 6th game that he's played in.
Yep. Eric asks, what is there to do in Tucson? Anything exciting? There is a football game on Saturday night.
That's about it.
I actually went to Tucson once before in college. It was all right. I had fun.
Good Mexican food?
Yeah. I mean, we went to the bars. It was fun. Good time.
I'm sure we'll find a good bar to go hang out at. That's about it, though.
Yep.
A lot of old people.
Yeah, a lot. Ivan asks over under 25 carries for our backs against Arizona. Also, rushing yards prediction.
I'm going to say just under.
I was going to say, can you, in any confidence, say over?
No. Has that ever happened?
The USC game last year was the year that the game that they ran the most.
Which is funny because everyone was losing their mind over them running the
I
ball
know.
on that last drive, which it did take up an absurd amount of time. I will say under 25, but I think you get a healthy dose of the run.
I'm trying to look this up real quick. So last year against the USC Trojans, the Buffs ran the ball 21 times. Or no, sorry, that's USC. They ran the ball 35 times.
Okay. All right. So it is possible. Can be done.
It can. Jay asked, do you think Kansas State did a hip drop on Omarion? Watching the highlights one too many times, they seem to hang on. Are wide receivers' hips on tackles near the sidelines? Has it been banned in CFB yet? That is 100% a hip drop tackle.
It's the definition of a hip drop tackle. It has not been banned in college football yet. And I will also just say, I don't think it was dirty.
No, it's not like he meant to break Omarion's ankle.
Yeah. When you're in a defender in that position, excuse me, you're just trying to do anything you can to get the guy to the ground. And a hip drop is effective in getting a guy to the ground, but as we saw, it's also very dangerous. There's a reason why the NFL tried to outlaw it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. It's weird how CFB kind of lags behind in some of these safety things.
Yeah.
They seem kind of obvious, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, not to make it too ugly, but in the NFL, the teams are investing directly in the players, so they're they want them, Tom Brady tears his ACL, they make a rule about going low on the quarterback because they can't afford to have Tom Brady out for their money. So that to me is why they're a little bit better about that. It's unfortunate, but probably true.
Yeah. Ivan, again, are you more excited to see Travis Hunter against T-Mac on defense or against Takario Davis on offense?
T-Mac by a pretty wide margin.
Yep.
I don't think they're going to travel someone with Travis on offense. And if they do, they have no shot at holding him. But T-Mac is a different breed. And so that is going to be a fun battle.
Yeah, this is a battle between first-round picks.
Yep.
I mean, if either, this is their last game of the year, I think both of them are still first-round picks, T-Mac and Travis Hunter.
Yes.
So this is going to be, a tape that draft nicks watch from now until April, pretty much. This is a big one.
Totally. And you're going to see what makes Tetero McMillan such a special prospect because he's incredibly fast and he's huge. And his size obviously is an advantage on Travis. So Travis is going to get a chance to display his length, and it's going to be a dogfight.
Yes, it will be. MLN asks says Trav could cover a Tyrannosaurus Rex while baking biscuits, but maybe for post-injury game back, DJ McKinney covers McMillan or share covers duties, so it's not all on Trav. Would you feel comfortable if someone else lines up across from T-Mac when Travis is on the field?
No. DJ, though, at least from a size perspective, can definitely compete with Tetero McMillan. But this is, for me, it's a hard and fast rule. If I were a defensive coordinator, it's how I would do it no matter what. I always want my number one on your number one. I remember last year, the Broncos were playing the Raiders, and Devontae Adams converted a third down while being covered by Damari Mathis, and I'm just like, how?
Yeah.
In a money down, how is that happening? I would always travel when you have a dominant. It doesn't have to be against everyone's number one.
Right.
When you have a dominant receiver on the other side, the other team hits his first read every time.
Mm-hmm.
No, if Vita drops back, first person he looks at is Tetero McMillan, unless he's trying to look you off to then look back to Tetero McMillan.
Yep.
He wants to go there every play if he can. I'm not messing with it. We also don't even know what Travis's injury was.
That is true. We don't know. No one's told us, but I don't know. I'm not going to speculate.
Yeah.
Stoney asks, any updates on the Heisman shirts?
You can email merch at allcitynetwork.com.
There you go.
For any updates on that. It's out of our jurisdiction.
Yes. Martin asked, do we think Benson gets in the game? We didn't get an update on Kahlil or Dayon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Dayon would have been nice to have this last week.
Kahlil was on the sideline fully dressed, though. I would assume that he's very close now with another week after he didn't play last weekend. So fingers crossed. We'll see. What's up, Jacob? Do y'all think we get a glimpse of Jordan O since Omarion is out? Notice he was in at the end of the game last week. Yeah, Coach Prime, or I think it was Shador actually shouted him out in the post-game presser for stepping up. I don't think he was targeted, but it just shows where he is on the depth chart, obviously. So he's been doing something right.
Yeah. But you're also getting Travis, Jimmy, and probably Will back.
Yeah.
So that's your whole starting group, hopefully.
Yep. And then we'll see if Cam Michael is able to make it back sometime soon,
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
Robert with the super chat. Much respect to Shilo stepping up after his worst game. I could hear the hurt in his voice. He'll bounce back. Also, keep sending best wishes to Omarion. Let's help get him through the recovery with prayers and some NIL love.
Prayers and money. That's what we all need.
Yep. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate you, man. Antoine says, better to happen now to get those injury bugs out the way. Hopefully, Coach redshirts Omarion to give him an extra year. We already talked about the red shirt. I hope that was the extent of the injury bug for us this year, because that was brutal, man.
For real. Yeah, there's always going to be one game where it starts to feel like something's in the air. And hopefully we got through it and only lost one player for the season.
Yes. What's up, Kev? In other news, CSU wide receiver Torrey Horton suffered a season-ending injury. Unlike Norvell, we're not petty, so praying he makes a speedy recovery.
Absolutely. Thinking of him. I don't know the details of all of this. So don't write this down as an accusation. I just feel like they didn't manage his injuries very well.
They definitely didn't against Colorado.
Well, yeah, I mean, we knew he shouldn't have been out there against Colorado.
Yeah. But bummer for him. He was 35 yards away from setting the Mountain West all-time receiving record.
I know. It is a huge bummer. Also, then I saw someone saying that they should let him get the record. I'm like, what?
That's not how this works.
Yeah, 100%. What's interesting is the record was actually held by a former Colorado State player, Rashard Hollywood Higgins.
They've had some receivers. The Campos says, have a good feeling about this week. Defense has to show up and a commitment to running the darn ball. Enjoying Jake's Sunday sermons post-Denver games. Keep it going. Go Buffs. DNVR is the GOAT. # run the ball.
Bro, can we get you out of the press box for one of these games and get that Sunday Jake on a Saturday?
I'm down.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Do you want to trade places?
No, we'll just both be in the stands.
We should do it. Let's pick a game and let's do it.
All right, hell yeah. We make the rules around here.
Yes, we do. I think that says Varian.
Yeah, I think so.
Was my third game at Folsom. Can the DJ play more aggressive hype music sometime? UCF did well with this, and the music was even hyping our players up. You got to have at least some clean trap in rotation.
Cook.
Well said.
Absolutely cook. I'm sorry, but throw out I Can Make Your Hands Clap and give me some Set It Off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For real, though.
We need to absolutely throw out the playlist.
For real.
And start over.
Yep.
It's insane. No more I Can Make Your Hands Clap, I swear to God.
They need to take the DNVR tailgate playlist.
Yes.
That's what they need.
Speaking of songs that I'm not hearing, where the hell is Perfect Timing?
We were talking about it in the car. So NDSU, first game of the year. Everyone freaks out, of course, after that game about everything under the sun. And then we come back home after the CSU game for Baylor. I don't remember hearing it.
At least play it just in the stadium. The students love it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Seriously, though, this is a big part of the push. The playlist is trash.
East Coast Kev finally with another one says, despite the loss, recruiting is still heating up this week. Absolutely. Even when Colorado loses, we still win. Yes. The team is hot on the recruiting trail still. Don't know if people picked that up from today's recruiting segment, but that was the point.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Thank you, Kev. Thank you, everyone, for the super chats. And thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's our last show in here for a while because we're hitting the road on Thursday. Did you realize that?
Last show from here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Until next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Digging into Arizona. Let's do it.
Can't wait.
See you then.
Let's play head bussa. Come on. Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.